Hello ladies and gentlemen, Extentor here and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now today, I'm going to be giving you 5 of the probably better or best routes you can fly in infinite flight. Now these are diverse routes I've got prepared for you all. I've done a bit of research and seen which are recommended and which are popular flights. And I hope to have included good scenery and a wide range of options for you all in this YouTube video. Now if you're new here, please make sure you can like and subscribe and also join my Discord server. There is a link down below. But without further ado, let's get started. So, the first option I have here, and these are in no specific order, we have an Airbus A330 Delta. So, this aircraft flies from Atlanta Airport, which is where I'm at right now, and it goes to Santiago in Chile. Now, Santiago, Chile is indeed a 3D airport in infinite flight. So I think that again makes it yet again another popular destination. Now the A330 is a very popular aircraft within the United States, and the only airline that mainly really flies it is Delta apparently. It also says here that Delta is the second largest carrier by passengers number, and it has many A330 300 and A330 900 within its fleet, which do many domestic hops and European to South America more long haul hops, which are quite interesting there. Now this flight will take you over from the United States all the way down to Chile again in Santiago, so you get to fly over some lovely mountains and you get all sorts of amazing views on your flight, of course. Now both airports again are a 3D, and I think both airports are again towards the upper quality end of infinite flight 3D airports. So I think this makes it a very popular airport. You can complete the flight again. I believe both airports are in the same time zone or within an hour of each other, and the 9-hour flight would mean that you can take off and land during daytime hours if you were someone who wanted to keep it as realistic as possible. So that is your first route that I think you can fly, and let me know if you have flown this before or you think you will fly it, and let's just go on to route number 2. Okay, the second route I have for you all involves the Air New Zealand Airbus A320. Now, personally, I love the Air New Zealand livery. I think it looks great. It looks really good on the Boeing 777s as well, which is also another aircraft you can use if you want to fly this livery specifically. Now, this route number 2 takes you going from Auckland Airport to a little island called Samoa, and I believe the actual destination is called Apia-Faleolo International Airport, so I don't actually think I said that right. But it's about 1800 nautical miles this flight, which will take you just under 4 hours to complete the flight. And again, this aircraft, it cruises at Mach 0.78, so you can complete it with realistic standards in about 4 hours. Now, the reason why I've chosen this route is, again, it's a recommended route by many people, but departing Auckland is very specific and it's special because you've got the massive bay, which you'll be able to see in just a second coming up. So you can see the big bay over there, and when your aircraft reaches cruise altitude, you actually find that the bay, it just looks really good. So down here, the resolution isn't that good, and the views just, they don't really cut it as well. But I find personally, when you reach higher cruise altitudes, it really is worth it. And then again, flying across the ocean, if some of you have issues with your iPads crashing, oceans are probably the best places to fly over, because you're not constantly rendering and loading in new bits of graphic. It's all just the same, the ocean's an infinite flight. So your iPad or iPhone or mobile device is much less likely to crash. So just have a quick look around here. Hopefully this is enough just to give you an idea. So here's the airport. Hopefully this is like enough of an idea to give you of just look how big and beautiful this bay can be. So we're just going to quickly zoom back to the aircraft up here. And you can actually see as we are climbing out, just look at this view, and I think it's a really cool view. It's definitely a really cool view. And as you ascend more and more, I'll just skip to a little bit later in the replay, you just get the amazing New Zealand coast, and you can choose your flight plan to specifically just fly along this coastline, which is what I've done here, and it looks amazing. It honestly, to me, it's perfect. And I think again you can see how pretty the bay looks at higher altitudes, so it's definitely worth it. and it's definitely a route I'd recommend. So now we're going to move on to the third route. Okay, so route number 3 is in the Airbus A220. Now this route is mainly for people who enjoy longer flights greater than 6 hours, but you're also a fan of the A220, and now this aircraft does have a phenomenal range, and apparently the 6-hour 40 flight going from Riga to Tenerife is amazing. So you get to fly all over mainland Europe, so you can plot your course over all the main cities in Europe, and if you want to see the main cities you can do that. And then following that, if your iPad gets a little bit too hot, you can fly out to the ocean and take a more coastal route to Tenerife, and then you get to fly into the amazing islands where Tenerife is located. Now, the views in in-flight flight are pretty good there, and personally, the approach into Tenerife is something that you just have to do it. It's definitely one of the approaches I'd recommend, and it's a really fun, nice little flight. This is quite niche, and quite a few people will enjoy it, I think. So you can cross through Lithuania, Poland, the Czech Republic, and then you head over the amazing Austrian Alps. Now, the Austrian Alps in infinite flight are something that are amazing. So when you're at your cruise altitude, they do look really good, and I think they probably are one of the better looking mountain ranges in infinite flight. Probably besides maybe the South American mountain ranges, which I think look quite good personally. You also get to see Africa very briefly as well, so it gives you a wide range of different scenic locations along this route, and again, 2 3D airports, which are very important in the modern world of infinite flight. Okay, alongside with that, the Air Baltic livery, I love it. It looks amazing in infinite flight again, and just the A220 in general is a very favourite aircraft of mine, and I really enjoy it. And I will definitely be doing many more A220 flights in the near future. So if you do this route yet again, let me know down below, and we're going to move on to number 4, which I think will be quite a popular route. Okay, route number 4 involves the 757. Now, this aircraft, I think it's underused really. I feel like if the 787, which I think of it, what is it doing? I wish the 767, sorry, which I sort of think is its partner aircraft, would be reworked as well, hopefully. Not too sure what just happened, sorry. But I think the route that involves the 757 Iceland Air here, it's a good route. It's a good route because, yet again, you're flying around Iceland, which in itself, as a country, has amazing scenery. You can fly down through Canada, which again, Canada has some even more amazing scenery. And then down through the United States, and where you're going to find your final destination is New York JFK Airport. Now, many of you may or may not know, JFK has very recently, in the 22.5 update, which came to infinite flight yesterday, was reworked. So JFK itself looks phenomenal. It's a really good looking airport, and I think it's definitely one that is worth paying a little visit to. So this is the 757 in Iceland Air again. Again, another aircraft. Take a good 3 hours, so it is a more longer flight, unfortunately. These flights are a bit longer actually than I thought or hoped when I wrote them down earlier. But again, it's a well recommended flight, and if you do this one again, let me know down below. Now, the final route involves the Cathay Pacific Airbus A380. Now, this aircraft, I think, is quite arguably one of the best aircraft in infinite flight. I think there's not much debate about it, really. I definitely think it is one of the best aircraft in infinite flight. Now, from here, you're going to fly from Hong Kong Airport, which is massive and it's 3D, down to Christchurch in New Zealand. Now, on this route, again, you can fly either way you want, but travelling down past through Indonesia, and yet again, you'll travel Malaysia. I don't really know the names of the countries around there, but you'll definitely travel through Australia. Now, if you're smart with your flight planning, you can either travel down the coast of Australia by the Great Barrier Reef, which would be amazing, or you can travel straight for the centre of Australia, and you can look for Uluru, or also known as Ayers Rock, which does feature an infinite flight, and I think it is pretty cool rock. It's a pretty cool rock. So you can see that again when flying through infinite flight. Now, the reason why I think personally I like this route is again because of Australia. When you fly over it on your way to Christchurch, New Zealand, it's pretty beautiful. Australia, it's a lovely scenic area with an infinite flight, but also Hong Kong has some amazing scenery of just surrounding islands near it, and I think if you choose your day and weather right, it's really, really good looking scenery. So I'll just skip a little bit from my takeoff here to try and show you how good some of the scenery is. So you look right here. Now what we can see here is just look at all of the islands. Now if you were doing the reverse flight, so going from Christchurch to Hong Kong, you'd get a really cool visual of the areas surrounding Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is actually, just for fun fact, I believe is an island. It's an island placed somewhere. That might be it. Yeah. So I think that's Hong Kong there, and surrounding it are also many other cities that you get. So you can see down here as well all of the many different cargo ships which are in the vicinity. So I think that's something quite cool, worth looking out for. And again, like I said, just all of the mini islands en route on your descent to Hong Kong, I think are amazing, and definitely worth seeing on your departure and or approach into Hong Kong Airport. Now, if you did like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in my next video. Good night.
Find your way.